Hey everybody, how you doing? Bob Vokes here from the Gilly Glue. Spring migration, it is upon us. That's a fun time of year, isn't it? Lots of buffleheads, lots of ducks, lots of mergansers, all those kinds of things are coming into Canada and Ontario from their winter homes. One of the species that's coming into Canada from their winter homes is the monarch butterfly. And as we all know, anybody that's a naturalist or a birder or have gardens or those kinds of stuff know that the monarch butterfly has been diminishing in numbers, dramatically diminishing in numbers. There's a whole lot of reasons for that, and we're going to talk about a few things. But mostly I want to talk today about solutions and how we can help the monarch butterfly and what we can do to help them possibly survive. And I say that, possibly survive, because they have been moved from the special concern list to the endangered species list. That means that monarch butterflies are this close to being extinct, gone forever. Some may say, well, what's that got to do with me? Monarch butterflies, what do they do? Well, one of the things that's been identified over the years, and it's a statement that if you say it real quick and you don't really think about it, really kind of doesn't make much difference. But a healthy ecosystem or a healthy environment is full of butterflies and moths. An environment that is not healthy is void of butterflies and moths, and that's just in the food chain, in the ecosystem, in the process of things. So think about that. We all know and we all have recognized that our monarch butterflies and our moths and our bees and all those kinds of things have been diminishing in number. And now the monarch butterfly has been moved into the endangered species list, meaning it's going to go extinct unless we do something about it. So if we think about that statement then made by scientists saying that a healthy environment or a healthy ecosystem is full of butterflies and moths because of the food chain and what they eat and what eats them, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Because everything's here for a purpose. We're part of nature. Nature isn't a part of us. We're a part of nature. We're the same as the monarchs. We're the same as everything else. And I think we have, as a species, have to really start to understand that if we're going to continue to exist, we have to start living with nature, not apart from nature. So the monarch butterfly has been put on the endangered species list. It means it's going to become extinct. Why? Lots of reasons. Their winter area in Mexico, there's been tons of illegal forestation been happening there. So their winter ranges has been diminished. Climate change obviously has been changing a lot of things, and we know that. Then the other big thing is our farming practices. The way that we spray for weeds and things in our farming areas. And the farms have grown to huge, big mass factory farms these days. The seeds that they put in the ground, and particularly locally here in Eastern Ontario, they have corn, canola, soybeans, all those kinds of things that they now make the seeds herbicide resistant. So the GMO factor. So the neonicotinoid pesticides that they put also into the seeds, but they also make the seeds herbicide resistant. So the farm, I'm not here to bash the farm or bash farmers or any of that kind of stuff at all. The point of the matter is the system has been developed as such that not only are we making the farming practices more efficient, we're killing everything around the farm as well because of the way the sprayers go with their big booms, and they spray Roundup across all the plants when they come up. So envision a corn stalk comes up, gets about that big, 4, 5, 6 inches, and then they go through the field with their sprayer and spray Roundup to kill every bit of vegetation in the field except for the herbicide resistant corn or soybean or canola or whatever it happens to be. Well, that spray and the mist from that spray also kills everything that's around that field. And if we drive up and down the road these days, we also see that our fields are no longer 50, 20, or 40 acre fields anymore. They're 100 acres, 200 acre, 300 acre fields. And if we go out west, There are thousands of acres in size, so there's no vegetation around anywhere. So that's part of the problem. But so what can we do about that? So first off, we have to start changing our thought processes and how and what we do. Secondly, we have to understand that we are part of nature and we're all in this thing together, and we got to work together with everybody or we're going to eliminate all of us. The next thing that we can do is start to plant in our yards, as I do say on my YouTube channel with the Habitat Creation Project that I did last year. Plant milkweed, plant these plants, take areas of your yard and create butterfly gardens and those kinds of things. You don't have to have acres and acres and acres of grass to mow. Make half of your yard gardens for butterflies and native plants. That's the important thing too, native plants. We don't want to introduce something that, because a lot of plants that are decorative garden plants, for instance, are not native to here, but they're also the possibility of them being toxic to plants, to birds and animals and butterflies and those things as well. So we need milkweed, obviously. We need milkweed. The female monarch butterfly has to lay her eggs on milkweed because the young, as they hatch, eat the plant of the nectar. So they take the nectar out of the milkweed and they eat the leaves of the milkweed, in which turn helps them produce to move forward. So we need milkweed, all kinds of milkweed. So in this article I was reading here and I was talking about, there's a ton of things that Canada can do as a country, as an individual person, and as a government to help the monarch butterfly not become extinct. And we'll include with our blog post here a lot of the things, but some of the things that we need to do. So first, we need to lobby our elected representative. We need to go to our elected representative at a municipal level and say your spraying practices for your ditches, for your ball fields, for your this, and those, they cannot include killing milkweed. We need to have a system in place at a municipal level that we're enhancing the milkweed in those areas instead of spraying for that. So that's at the local level. Then at the provincial level, you need to talk to your provincial MPP and talk to them and say, what are you doing to implement programs to help save the butterfly? Because help save the butterfly is going to help save us. That's the other thing. Then we go to the federal level and we talk to our federal member of parliament and talk to them about that. And then the big thing here, and it's an important thing, we need to talk to people at the corporate level. So when we think about hydroelectric facilities, if we think about pipeline companies, if we think about right-of-way maintenance that a lot of these companies are doing, they need to include a monarch restoration project in those areas. So think of the hundreds of miles of pipeline natural gas pipeline that, for instance, that goes across the country. How about we lobby those companies and say, look, let's make your pipeline area, how about you institute a monarch restoration project for along your pipeline? That's a natural flight path of the monarch so that we can help them. Then we can do our own thing in our yards. We can create areas in our yards. I see lots of places when I drive around that people have vast acreages of grass. They mow grass for hours and hours and hours. There's golf courses, all kinds of places that we can incorporate monarch restoration projects. So I wanted to raise the awareness about that. I wanted to talk to you a bit about that. By no means am I trying to get on the soapbox here or trying to be political at all. That's not it at all. I'm just trying to raise awareness, make us part of nature. We're part of nature. Let's be part of nature. Let's do our part for nature.